Mic check, mic check. What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending on whatever time you're seeing this. Hope everyone's having an amazing day. I hope everyone's feeling amazing. Hope everyone had an amazing week. I hope everyone's had an amazing weekend. If you did go out last weekend, I hope you stayed safe. I hope you drank responsibly. If you did, I hope you enjoyed time with yourself if you did that. I just wanted to come on here and ask a simple question. That question being, are you running from something or are you chasing something? Now, I'm asked that again. Are you running away from something or are you chasing after something? The reason why I asked that is because for the longest time in my life, and I'm speaking from my experience, I was running from something. I was running from what I felt would be my destiny. I was running from what I felt I would end up like. I was running from the problems that I didn't want to handle, from the traumas that I didn't want to deal with, from the negative thoughts that I didn't want to handle. I was running. Why was I running? Could be a lot of reasons. It really could be a whole lot of reasons. But the main reason was because I was naive. I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the trust. I didn't have the faith in the right places, at least. See, for the longest time, I used to run. I used to run away from living in poverty. I used to run away from not knowing where my kids' next meal might come from. I used to run away from the negative thoughts that I had about myself, the self-doubt that I had about myself. I used to run away from this whole stigma that your life is already decided for you before you're born. This whole stigma that your destiny's set in stone, that you can't rewrite it. I was running from that. And because I was running away from that, I found myself in a lot of places where I shouldn't have been. Because at the same time, I was running away from those things while chasing freedom. In my head, the whole time, while I was chasing freedom, I thought that freedom meant having a lot of money. I thought freedom meant being rich and being able to buy whatever it is that I wanted whenever I needed to, whenever I wanted to. I thought that freedom meant that whenever my kids would want something, I'd be able to provide it for them. As a result, I did find freedom, quote unquote, freedom with money. I've had a lot of money. I've made a lot of money before in my life, and I'm young. I'm only a young adult. But what came along with the amount of money that I've touched wasn't happiness, wasn't fulfillment. It was nothing. Nothing changed. Not the way that I thought about myself, not the way that I ran away from traumas, not the way that I ran away from everything that I was dealing with, not the way that I felt that I was running away from a destiny that I thought was set in stone. Nothing changed. And I have had money enough to take care of myself and be well off. But again, nothing changed. You know why nothing changed? Nothing changed because I tried doing it on my own. I tried doing all this on my own. I didn't search or seek for help. I didn't try to dig deep within myself. I kind of just stuffed all these things in a box, locked it away, and forgot about it. And as a result, I became a person that didn't really feel anything. I, for lack of a better phrase, I'd say numb. I didn't feel I didn't feel pain, I didn't feel hurt, I didn't feel heartbreak, I didn't feel upset, but I did feel a whole lot of anger. I didn't feel happiness, I didn't feel fulfillment, I didn't feel joy, but I did feel a whole lot of hatred, a whole lot of envy, and not envy of other people in their situations, but envy that I ended up in the situation that I was in, or so I thought. But when I truly took time to dig deep within myself, when I truly took time to look within myself and face what it is that I had been running away from for so long, and what led me to chase freedom, but not true freedom, material freedom, when I made that decision to seek help in the right places, my whole mindset, my whole perspective, my whole idea of life, my whole vision of life changed. I became a person that was more than willing to get out of his comfort zone. I became a person that was more than willing to do things that he's afraid of. I became a person that was more than willing to do things that I didn't feel like doing, but I knew I had to, because it was either I sit back and coast it and enjoy the life that I was running so desperately away from, or I can get up and do what I don't want to do or don't feel like doing and make the life that I want with help. Now, I know I keep saying that I did it with or without help, and you're probably wondering what kind of help I'm talking about. Now, I'm the type of person that I'm not going to go out of my way and ask anybody for help. If I'm struggling with something, I'm going to struggle in silence. If I'm going through something, I'm going to go through it in silence. If I'm going to try to make it through something, I'm going to make it through in silence. So I'm not talking about the type of help that you may be thinking. When I sought for help and I found help through a relationship with God, through relying on God, through throwing all my pains, all my problems, all my traumas, everything that I was running away from on God, and truly giving in, truly believing within myself, within my heart, that He would look after me. Because before I made that decision to grow close to God, I was ignorant to the fact that God has been looking out for me this whole time. There's been plenty of times where I probably should have died. There's been plenty of times where I probably should have went away for a long time. And I'm not no street person. I'm not what people consider a street nigga. I'm just someone that was chasing freedom through money, through material, and I was led down a path. But God knew my heart. God knew that I was still searching for a relationship with Him. I was just so focused on running away and chasing other things other than a relationship with Him that I was distracted, that I had tunnel vision, that I was blinded. But now that I've taken time to truly gain a relationship with God, and I'm not speaking in terms of I already have a strong bond with God, because in my eyes, you can never have a strong bond with God. Your bond can always get stronger. And because of that, whenever I made this realization and began building this relationship with God, I noticed that my life, my idea on life, my perspective on life has changed dramatically. I've realized that I am free. I've always been free. I just didn't feel it because, again, I was chasing and running away from things that I felt that I could handle on my own. But right now, I am truly at peace with myself. I am truly free. And anytime, every time that I feel a problem or have a problem or am going through something, I know that God will handle it. I know for a fact that I will never get as low and as deep into the abyss, into the hole that I dug myself into mentally, physically, spiritually ever again. Because I know now that God has always looked out for me and God will always look out for me. And I made a promise whenever I truly felt His presence, whenever I truly submitted to Him, whenever I truly surrendered to Him and truly threw all my burdens onto Him. I made a promise that if I seen someone else going through something that I feel that I have gone through, and you can see it. You can see when someone else is going through something that you've gone through. You can see it because it's like you've been there. You know what it looks like. You know how it feels to walk slunched over. You know how it feels to walk with your head down, looking at the ground. You know how it feels to walk into a room and sit in the back, go unnoticed, and that's perfectly fine. But if you're doing that to run away from something, you're doing that because you're trying to avoid something, then that's what I mean. I'm talking about those people. I have done a whole lot of wrong, a whole lot of good. I had a whole lot of regrets. I really did. I had so many regrets. Right now, my regrets are just a couple bills that I picked up, a couple car payments that I wish I didn't have. I wish I would have took the cash car route again. But hey, you fall into that stigma that you gotta have the best. But I did have a lot of regrets, but that isn't the case anymore. Why? Because God, this was God's plan. God had everything that I went through. This was what it was meant to be. Now, obviously, I didn't follow his plan exactly, but I know that each struggle, each problem, each battle that I did face, it was meant for me. It wasn't gonna take me out. I didn't know it at the time, and it didn't feel like it at the time, but it wasn't gonna take me out. It wasn't going to, no matter how big the battle was, no matter how big the monster was, no matter how big the problem was, it wasn't gonna take me out because it didn't. Because each one of those battles, each one of those problems, each one of those monsters was tailored specifically for me in my life to turn me into the person that I want to be. Now, again, this draws back to me chasing and running away from something. I've always had this vision of the guy or the man that I wanted to grow up and become. And during that time, I was doing it on my own. And there was plenty of times where I became inconsistent, whether it was in the gym, whether it was going to work, whether it was reading the Bible, that was specifically the biggest thing that I was inconsistent in was my relationship with God. But I was always searching. Now that I have that relationship with God, it makes everything else so much easier. It's like think of it like a chocolate fountain and putting God at the top. God, everything that you do, all the problems, all the negative thoughts, all the self-doubts, everything that you're going through, all the financial problems, all that's all bad in the moment, but all you have to do is throw it on God. Throw your problems on God, and He will provide a way, and He will shine a light on your path if you believe. If you truly believe, He will. I'm not saying to go and ask for a Porsche, go and ask for a mansion. What I am saying is go and ask for the strength. Go and ask for the patience. Go and ask for the self-awareness, for the selflessness, and He will provide that for you. Not in the quality of itself. You're not going to wake up feeling like a selfless person. You're not going to wake up feeling like a patient person. You're not going to wake up feeling like a strong person. But He will present you with an opportunity to exercise that skill, to exercise that muscle, to practice that skill, to practice gaining that quality. Because just like all things, just like muscles, just like getting good at something, just like trying anything, you got to practice. It's repetition. So if you find yourself lacking in something, lacking in confidence or something like that, and you truly, truly want confidence, you truly, truly want selflessness, you truly, truly want patience, then think back to all the situations, all the negative things that you've gone through, and think, what if I would have stepped up and said this? Confidently said this? What if I would have stepped up and confidently said this? What if I would have sat there and patiently waited? That's what I mean whenever I say that these battles are tailored for you. And whether you know it or not, God has always had an eye on you. God has always looked out for you. I'm sure there's situations that you can think of yourself, you the viewer. I'm sure there's situations that you can think of where you probably should have died too. Where you probably should have gotten locked away for a long time too. Where you probably should have done this too, you know? And now it's a bit more clear, I'd say, that hey, that was for a reason. Look at it like this. You know, everybody wants money, everybody wants to be well off, everybody wants to be financially stable. But if you don't become a person that's able to maintain that financial stability, then what is it all for? This journey of life, I feel, in my experience, that it's all about learning, experiencing new things, going out and becoming that person that's worth living the life that you want, and then passing that knowledge on, teaching someone else, and not doing it all on your own. I'm not saying doing it on your own, but doing all these things with the help of God. I can look back on my own life personally and think and pinpoint each time that I was at my lowest point, I was furthest away from God. But whenever I started coming closer to God, my life started to align. My life started to straighten up. It may have been hard in certain instances, but as a whole, my life was going good whenever I had trust in God and had a relationship with God. And I'm not making this video to try to convince anyone to go to a church or join a church. That's beyond the point. Like, that's not the point at all, to be honest. That's so far away from the point that you may need to find a GPS to get back to it, you know? What I am saying is that you should maintain, you should search, you should be willing to have a relationship with God. You can have a relationship with God outside of church. Church is used to go and show your faith along with other believers, to strengthen your faith with other believers. But your relationship with God is between you and God. God created you at the time that you were born. Not the time that you were born, but God created you. But yeah, I just came on here to rant a little, not even rant, but to just throw out food for thought, you know? Because the more and more that I go through life, the older and older that I get, the more and more conversations that I have each and every single day, the more and more I realize that everyone has a dream life. Everyone on this earth has a life that they want, has something that they want to be, has something that they want to do. But there's a select few, that 0.5%, that small percent of people that are rich, that are in the positions that you want to be in, that are living the life that you want to live. That small percent, rather than sitting and wanting to live a dream life that they want, they went out and got it. They went out and chased it. I'm making this video because I want you to go out and chase it with God's help. And I want you to know that you can do it. It takes time. These people that you watch, these people that you listen to, these people that you want to be are regular people. They are regular people. When that camera goes off of them, whenever that song stops, they go right on down, sit down, they pop a cigarette, or they light a cigarette, they light a blunt, they go and eat some fruit, they go and watch anime, they go and chill, bro. They do all the same things that you do, just in a different place, because they took the time, they made the sacrifice, and they stopped caring what other people thought and went after the life that they wanted. They didn't allow life to make them, they went and made life, made their life their own. And I do want to say, a relationship with God, it will for sure fulfill you. It will look after you. You will feel the presence. Like when you do feel the presence of God, you'll know. But there are people out there that may not be aligned with God, that may be living the life you want. Because again, yes, when you make a prayer, yes, whenever you work towards something, yes, God will be listening. Yes, what God will be providing. But I mean, think about it. We're humans. We're imperfect humans living on an earth on the earth that Satan and his angels were casted down to. So they have just as much power to grant you everything you want in your life as God does. But they're only going to grant you that power. They're only going to grant you that life if it leads you further away from God. That's when you have to use your discernment. That's when you have to use your gut feeling. Because again, when you feel like something may be from God or may be from the enemy, it I'm not saying it is from the enemy, but it may more than likely be from the enemy. Only because our God is not a confusing God. Our God is nothing. There, confusion, and God, they don't go together at all. God is loving. God is selfless. God is self-sacrificing. God's not going to confuse you. When you receive something, you'll know it's from God. You'll feel it in every fiber of your being. You will. But you got to be open to it. You can't have tunnel vision and expect to see. You can't have tunnel vision on the light at the end of the tunnel and see something that's to the left of you because you're too focused on what's ahead. So when I say chase the life that you want, chase your dreams, chase being the best version of you, I mean, do that. Have that focus, but don't do it with tunnel vision. Have that focus, but be on the lookout. Be open to other possibilities because you never know. You may be on the search to your dream life, and your calling may be alongside the road, but you won't know until you make that journey or take that trip, take that walk, take that run, get in the car, and go. You won't know until you hit the road. You got to go out and try different things. You got to go out and fail. You got to go out and get embarrassed, live through awkward moments, get uncomfortable. And through those times, through those situations, through those uncomfortable moments, you very may well find a calling that you may have never even thought that you would do. You may be an introvert and go along this journey of self-improvement and find out that, hey, you know what? I really like giving speeches in front of people. Why don't I go and try to do a TED Talk? You may be someone that hates kids, but go on and embark on this journey towards chasing your dream life and find out that, hey, I really like helping and giving care, medical treatment to sick kids in need. You know what I mean? But you won't know that until you get out of your comfort zone. Because I mean, look at it. Look at it like this. You've been comfortable all your life. Are you happy with your life now? Exactly. So why not change something up? Why not try something new, something different? I'm not saying you got to go and jump off a bridge. What I am saying is, why don't you just take some time to like, if you're someone that doesn't normally wash the dishes, why don't you take time to wash the dishes? If you're not someone that normally goes out and says hi whenever you walk into a building, why don't you say hi and greet someone with a smile next time you go into a restaurant, next time you go into a building, next time you go into a store? Because I mean, it may be small to you, but you may have a smile that lightens someone else's day. You may have a presence that brightens someone else's day. You may have a appearance that inspires someone else today, but you won't know because you're too comfortable with the way you are now. So again, I'm gonna ask, and I want y'all to think on it and dwell on it. And if your answer is anything that you're unhappy with, throw it on God. Throw your problems on God and allow Him to take the wheel. Allow Him to handle your problems. So again, I'm gonna ask, are you running from something or are you chasing something? One more time for the people in the back. Are you running away from something or are you chasing something? Chasing after something? Are you running away from something or are you chasing after something? Once you embark on this journey, once you become become this man on a mission, this woman on a mission, you'll see vividly that you were running away from something, that you were chasing something maybe, but it wasn't the right thing, the right way. It wasn't in the right place. Your faith wasn't in the right place. Do some reflecting today. After this video, sit there, do some reflecting, and think on it. What's the life that I want to live? What's the person that I want to be? Will my kids be proud of the life that I presented them with? Am I going to be a good example for my kids? Ask yourself these questions because people must, they have to, you should become more self aware because we're in an age where it's so easy to get distracted, especially us as Gen Zs. We all grew up around technology. We all grew up playing video games. We got to see all this advance, and the distractions are only ramping up. There's more apps, there's more games, there's more social medias popping up everywhere. There's more propaganda on getting you to eat more fast food. There's more sickness through these processed and fast foods because people are still giving in because they're comfortable. Life isn't meant to be comfortable, bro. It's not. Life is meant to be learned and given through wisdom. So, I leave you guys with that food for thought, or with this food for thought. Some of you will take it as a grain of salt and continue being who you are. Some of you will take it and reflect on everything I said. Some of you will take it and make changes and make strides. And you will see the world differently. I know for a fact, especially when you grow that relationship with God. When you grow that relationship with God, you will see completely differently, that nothing will ever hold you back again, ever. And you will have that life that you want and be that person you want in a godly, humane, moral, ethical, good way. And you'll be at peace the whole time. Yeah, you'll have times where you get angry and lose it. Yeah, you'll have times where you stumble and fall. But when you recompose yourself and realize that, hey, you know what? I'm tweaking. I need to lock back in. You'll see that it isn't that big a problem, bruh. Especially when God's on your side. So go out, do some reflecting, do some thinking, and envision the life that you want. Write it down. Write out exactly, describe your future self. From appearance, type of hairstyle you rock, type of tattoos that you wear, type of clothes that you wear, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak with people, the qualities that you have, whether you're a confident person, whether you're a witty person. Write these things down. Write down the type of life that you want, whether it's living in the Bahamas, making money online, whether it's live streaming yourself playing video games, whether it's recording skate videos, teaching people how to skate, whether it's giving tips on how to better improve your health through vitamins, through supplements, whatever it is. Go out and write it down to where you can see it'll physically be in this world. And then pray to God that, and I mean pray, sit there and ask God, speak with God as if he's your friend, the one friend, the true friend that you can be most vulnerable with. And ask him for the strength, for the courage, for the wisdom, for the patience, for the vision to go out and chase it. And I promise you, he will present you with opportunities. He may work way, way faster than you even expected. He may take some time, but I promise you, he'll present you with that opportunity. So, leave you guys with that. I, again, hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Hope you guys had an amazing day. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, amazing morning, amazing night, depending on whatever time you guys are seeing this. You guys go out, sit, reflect, and take that first step, one step, small step, even if it's just a smidge, even if it's just a wee bit. Take that step in the right direction, in the right way, with your faith in the right place. So, you guys have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one.